Hello, we're Minh, Giang, and Alex, and we're students from the IGCSE program. Today we will explain about absolute poverty in some parts of the world and the different cultural perspectives that affect it. Firstly, what is absolute poverty? Absolute poverty is a condition that a person doesn't have enough needed income for a minimum requirement of basic living needs. People cannot afford or have access to enough food or potable water. Many adults and children also live in places with no floor or that is very poorly sanitized. Now, absolute poverty is a global issue, which happens in many countries, especially countries in Africa. Even though global extreme poverty has been decreasing, poverty reduction may not reach the target of ending extreme poverty by 2030. As of 2015, World Bank reported 10% of world's population, which is about 734 million people, are living in extreme poverty. Here are some main causes of absolute poverty. Lack of education causes people not to have necessary skills for well-paid jobs. Cheap child labor is a cause because it impacts on children's health and concentration in studying. Pollution is another cause which damages the living environment and impacts on citizens' health. Conflicts and violence destroys infrastructures and resources, which also lead to extreme poverty. Those causes eventually lead to consequences like decline in education, spread of diseases such as HIV, increase in death rate, increase in criminal rate, and increase in rate of illegal migration. Let's look at some countries which suffer from absolute poverty in Africa. The total number of people in extreme poverty in sub-Saharan Africa has increased from 278 million to 413 million from 1990 to 2015. We will concentrate on three different countries: Mozambique, Ethiopia, and Nigeria. Mozambique has 17.8 million people in extreme poverty, which is 61.8% of their population. 1.2 million children are not in school, and most of them are girls. They usually started working at a young age, as instructed by their elders, instead of going to school. Child marriage is still happening in Mozambique, as 48% of the girls under 18 are getting married. This leads to childhood pregnancy for many girls, which takes away their chance to enroll in education. As a result, women are less likely to find non-traditional jobs, and most of them only do domestic work or work on farms. All of these factors lead to extreme poverty in many families, as they cannot find jobs that provide enough income. Similar issues appear in Ethiopia and Nigeria. 23.9 million people in Ethiopia and 86.9 million people in Nigeria are in absolute poverty. Women usually don't have a job and just stay at home to care for children. This is due to a cultural belief that women are less competent than men. This is why girls don't usually receive education. In Nigeria, 10.5 million children don't go to school. Most children are needed to do work to help their parents, such as farm work or house chores. So many families only send one child to school, making it harder to provide education to all children, and even harder to girls. The next region is the Middle East and North Africa. The number of people here living in extreme poverty has doubled to 18.6 million from 2011 to 2015. Absolute poverty in Syria has increased from about 0 to 20%, while absolute poverty in Yemen doubled Syria at 41% in 2015. Both countries' poverty condition was heavily affected by conflict and war. In both Yemen and Syria, people prioritized men more than women. Females are less likely to receive education and get a non-traditional job. Women are only allowed to stay at home to take care of children and perform household tasks, or agricultural work in rural areas. On the other hand, men are allowed to go to school and work to support their family's finances. This stereotypical belief could be one of the reasons why their countries are still poor, as they forgot that women can also work to provide finance for the family too. In Syria, children are viewed as blessings from God. This encourages a family to have more children as it is considered fortunate. But if a family has too many children, they might not be able to support the entire family, and they wouldn't be able to escape extreme poverty. Most children would work in farms to help the family's financial position instead of going to school. There is a possible solution to absolute poverty that we would like to talk about, which is improving English skills for everybody, especially children. English is an international language. It reduces communication barriers between countries, which allows trade and therefore increases a country's GDP. Having the ability to read, write, and speak in English makes a valuable difference to their lives. Higher English proficiency allows people to get better paid jobs, and therefore families will have higher income levels, which leads to higher GDP per capita, and they can improve their living standards. There is a positive correlation between income per capita and English proficiency. Absolute poverty is a very serious issue in many countries, and we have explored several cultural perspectives affecting poverty in these regions as well. English education could be a way to improve people's lives and get them out of extreme poverty. We can all help by donating to organizations like World Vision or Build Africa. Follow the link in the description. Please like and leave your thoughts down below in the comment. Also, please answer our short survey in the description. Thank you for watching.